Wow.
That's good. The fans are going to be dying for content, so the pressure's on. So. Yeah. Or you don't have any more fans. Yeah. That's good. Nothing like a good roast. No. Let's do this.
Ready to go.
Wonderful.
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Sure. And then first, just to kind of clear it up with the CaliRays LED and CaliRays off-road, they're not us anymore. We used to be them. So I can get into that later. It's a neat story how that all worked out. But just so people don't get confused, they are separate companies now. Yeah, yeah. So they are. No, and like you probably wouldn't know. I mean, it was us, but it branched off, and I can tell that all once we get there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
No, yeah, no, no,
Is
yeah.
it?
There you go. Yeah, so originally we started off, man, back in 2014, just originally selling the LED lights. We started off, we had a Instagram page that was kind of more of like your typical like truck page. Nothing Toyota, nothing Ford, like no, brand specific, more of just posting content to, you know, submitted in photos. Um, we were approached by a factory who said, "Man, you guys got a really good following. You guys should, brand some products and whatnot." So we got some samples, tested it out, started selling our own line of LED lights, more to our followers. But we actually, when we started off, kind of our biggest market was kind of in the hunting and fishing industry and agriculture. We would go to like trade shows and sell to farmers and outdoors and stuff like that, because I mean those people, they're not in the mall parking lot, they're out in a field at 2 a.m. planting corn, and they need light. So that was kind of our first inception of the company. Then another probably year, 2 years down the road, would get all these questions, hey, I want to buy, and this was when the LED bars were relatively new. Everyone had the big halogen lights and the HIDs and all, like how they would have, and it kind of got into everyone would, you could buy the light, but they're like, how do I put this thing on my truck? Like how I could, like, it's easy to find the light, I can buy the pod, I can buy the light bar, whatever, but like, how do I, mount this light? So I said, oh, that's a good point. So started just doing some research, and we started working on with another company and some designers and coming up with some mounting brackets. And that's kind of what I would say the start of the Cali raised LED part was, where we started to get our name with the Toyotas and that such. Because the first product we came out with, mounting bracket, was a 42-inch curved bracket for like a second gen Tacoma, for like up on the roof, to hold. So our sales guy, who's still with us, Jake, had a Tacoma. So we kind of had used his truck for like the crash test dummy for everything. It still is used as a crash test dummy. We've put a lot of holes in that thing and took it apart about 100 times. So that was like our first product. And we were mainly on like the Tacoma World forum and a couple other forums and stuff like that. And, we had these mounts and we posted them and shared them with people, and they're like, man, that's great. Now I can like put this light on my truck now. I don't have to like drill it to my roof or whatever. And so we started coming out with the mounts, and that's where I say we really got kind of the following in our base from, because not only did we sell you a good light at a good price, but we were able to sell you the mounts and give you kind of the full turnkey package for your product. And that's kind of our biggest thing, is when we sell you a product, you don't have to go buy, something from this guy, something from this guy, something from here. Like, you get everything you need from us, which I think is pretty cool, that the customer can go do. They can literally build their everything with just our products. So we just, expanded from there, went to, the ditch bracket, made ditch brackets, made a bumper light bar, and and that was in 2014, 2015. In 2015, the third gen Tacoma started to leak out, and people were starting to get their hands on one, and we were able to get our hands on one extremely early. And that's where we kind of then got into the third gen Tacoma, and and just built on and on from there, as we started to see, wow, we're growing a following. Our products are good, people like it. Let's come out with more stuff, brand other things, and started from there. So back in 2016, we were we kind of went into an actual shop. We got a shop in Buena Park, where Cali Rays Off-Road is now. We got a shop. It was it was a 2-story building. It was kind of funky. It was a 2,000 square foot warehouse on the bottom, and then it was a 2,000 square foot like office on the second floor. So we had to walk upstairs like 100 times a day. So it was pretty fun. But so basically, when we moved into that facility, and the company was growing and stuff, we really needed to manufacture these mounts on our own. We were using another company in Garden Grove, California, like just a sheet metal manufacturing company, where they were doing the manufacturing for us. And we said, man, we need to, manufacture it ourselves, because we're just throwing our margin away just having another company make it for us. So that's kind of where then Chris comes into play. Is Chris was out in Albuquerque in the Air Force, finishing up out there, and he had a company called Apex Fab Works, which they made bumper mounts, some fog mounts, and some other like light mounts and off-road armor related stuff. So when Chris finished up in the Air Force, he came out to Southern California, I think Valencia, to work for an aerospace company out there. And we had and Cali Rays, we would buy some products from Chris, from his fabrication company he had, and we would sell them with our lights and whatnot. So we were kind of like one of his customers. Then we when Chris came out, we just kept talking and we said, hey, we got something here. Like, we want to start our own, fab shop and start manufacturing this stuff on our own. So we talked and, did that. And Chris would come for a little bit and help out and train a couple guys. And it started, because he's working at his other job, and he would come on the weekends and, do that sort of deal. And then once we kind of started going into it, Chris was able to come on and come full time to the company, which was great because now we had someone that actually knows what they're doing for that stuff, because I don't know anything about that at all. I'm not a fabricator or, machine programmer or anything like that. So we just kind of, like, the best term I like to say is we just sent it. We bought a CNC plasma table, we bought a press brake, we got some welding machines, hired some guys, and just started doing it. And we did well. We figured it out. You make a lot of mistakes down the road, but we just kept pushing through and coming out with new products. And probably about 2 months into being at the Buena Park facility, we had to get another location because we ran out of room. So we got an additional in that same kind of, it was one of those like complex places. So we were able, another one opened up and we were able to get that one. And then just go from there. So, fast forward a year and a half, where we start getting Texas into play, where we're like, okay, we can't be in California anymore. Like, if we want to take it to the next level and get a huge facility, get a bunch of people, like, we're just not going to do it in California or in Southern California. You guys know real estate's expensive out there. And for our business, we need like a freestanding building with a yard, because we got huge equipment, and we either needed to go out in the middle of the nowhere, or we had to go to another state. So we picked Fort Worth, Texas, to be our spot. And then coming into Cali Off-Road. So when we were back in Southern California selling the product, doing all that, we kind of had like a little storefront, you could say, where people could come into and do all of that. And we kind of came up with a sub company, Cali Raised Off-Road, which was kind of like your local off-road shop where you could come buy light bars, mounts. We sold wheels, tire, whatever you could buy through us. We would do installations, all, just like any off-road shop would. So when we were coming up with the plan to leave California, we said, hey, you guys know the Southern California community of off-roading, and even just to get even tighter, the Toyotas is huge out there. You go to these events and there's a bajillion people, whatever. So we said, we need to figure out a way to leave, but not leave. So we ended up, yeah, there you go. Exactly. So we were kind of kicking the can and thinking of some ideas. And what if we could keep that off-road, grow into, become a better off-road shop that could do, suspensions, like kind of everything, distribute the product, and then just move all the manufacturing, all the employees, all the, stuff that takes up all the room out to Texas. So originally it was something we were thinking of, hiring on someone to run that and have a location, a separate location in California. But we had some friends in the area that were kind of in that game or wanting to get in that game. And they said, hey, can we do it? Like, we'll buy it from you. And we're like, okay, So it ended up working out really well, where now it's a completely separate company, Cali Raised Off-Road. So they are our like preferred Southern California dealer and distributor who you can go to, and you can buy Cali Raised LED products there. You can buy all our products. You can go buy Rigid products. You can go buy Baja Design. You can buy whatever you want there. They do full installations. They do lift kits. They do, literally anything a full service off-road shop can do. So that's how the Cali Off-Road happened.
Yeah, and if you like neon,
do what? Exactly. So you can go there and be like, hey, I want to put 35s on my Tacoma with a full King suspension. they'll do that. Or you could say, hey, I want to buy some Cali-Rays LED ditch brackets, and they can do that. They have, and if anyone's listening and is in the SoCal area, they have a really nice showroom. I mean, they have tons of gear in there. You can go in there and they got it all on display, really cool. And they're right there in Buena Park off the 5 freeway off Beach Boulevard. But for like our rock sliders and our bigger items, they just have them there so you can get them, so you don't have to pay shipping. And it's like a remote location that's really nice. They're able to service that whole Southern California community, and kind of they're even growing our name out. We would ever get on because we weren't doing the full builds and stuff like that. So it's been a really good working with those guys out there at that location. And I think they took over both the buildings, and they've added like 2 more buildings. I mean, they're just blowing holes through walls every week. So it's ridiculous. I haven't been out there. Chris was out there last week, and Jake, our head dealer sales rep, has been out there a few times, and it's ridiculous. I mean, there's 40 trucks in the parking lot, and trucks on every lift, and it's nuts. So they're doing really well with all that. Yeah, sure. Correct. So originally, when I had a truck and I got one, and keep in mind I had that truck page, so I had kind of the community already there. That ended up not really even being the community we grew with, but I had a light on my truck, and it just wasn't very good. And back in the day, there wasn't very many options. I mean, you had like your Amazon $20 light bar, or you had rigids, which like you got to take out a mortgage on your house to buy it. Like, I mean, it's like ridiculous. So you there was no kind of like in between where it's like, man, this is a really good light, but it's not like gonna break the bank. And I was like, man, there's like a market there. Like, people want like good quality products, but they don't want to pay that amount. And that's like, and even Rigid's got a warranty, or these companies have warranties or whatever. But after I spent a lot of time out with these farming guys and stuff like that, they don't do warranties. If it breaks, they just throw it away, and they just put it because they don't have time to deal with that. So having like a really good product that is not going to break the bank, it was the key thing that we started with. And just that product, I mean, back in 2014, they were fairly new, so it was kind of a newer idea, newer item as they were coming out. So that's kind of how I went with LED lights. It just kind of fell into my lap with that, and was an idea that
there's probably more 50-inch light bars rolling around on combines in Iowa than there are on Tacomas in Southern California.
Yeah. Yeah, so back before we moved to Texas. So when we moved out to Texas, we kind of went full blown into our like manufacturing and growing our our vehicle specific markets. So we've kind of left pursuing that, but we still have a lot of customers in the agricultural industry. So we would do a lot of there's 2 big shows. There's the Iowa Farm and Power Show, and there's one in Lincoln, Nebraska, and there's one in Des Moines, Iowa. So we would do those shows every year. We did them for probably 4 years, and we would go out there, load a trailer of product, sell everything, and then just keep getting orders from all the big farms and big ranches out there. Because they would buy, none of those guys have, one. I mean, they have a truck, they have 12 ATVs, 9 combines, 10 skid steer. I mean, they have a ton of equipment. So yeah, so you sell them one light, they call you back 4 days later, needing 40 of them. So it's a good way to move a lot of volume through those guys, and then through the hunting. And I mean, look at hunting. When you go hunting, you leave early, you leave in the dark, and when you come back in the dark. So you need light. So that's how we actually found Texas, because we did the hunting shows out in Texas. So we would go to these trade shows and kind of test the markets with our products, and just show up and we're going to go to a hunting show in Fort Worth, Texas, and see what people say about our product. We'd roll up, set up our booth, and boom, sell out. Okay, hunting industry, they need light bars. Let's make it happen. Start advertising those guys. Or let's go to the combine show. Oh man, So I mean, that's kind of where we did a lot of shows in the beginning to try to figure out the different groups of people and the different demographics. And that's how, I mean, if you look at Ridgid, they have a mining department. They have, so the LED lights, a lot of people look at them and say, oh, those are for the trucks. But that's probably, 10% of all, LED light bars that are made are actually going on trucks. And then 90% of them is going on other stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, those guys, they're a great group of people. I mean, and they need a lot of gear, and that's what they. It's a very interesting market when you get in there and go to these shows and talk to these people and these other companies. We're sitting here on the Trail Chasers podcast, and there's a a corn harvesting podcast. It's like the world is so big, and there's so many markets. Yeah, that's a competition.
Fierce rivalry,
Yeah, it's crazy. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah,
guys,
you get a lot of feedback too from those guys, because they're not afraid to share it either.
Mhm. Oh, I wish, nothing over the top for our products. We follow, a term that Cali Off-Road is, I'm pretty sure they coined it, but we love to use it as the industry standard. Little shout out to my friend Randy over there. Um, we just try to follow what we know is best. It's Blake and I's pairing is pretty fun because he comes from a very different background than I do. I'm very, Baja, Mexico, off-road racing, all that stuff. Grew up on motorcycles and stuff since I was a little kid. And when I first started working with Blake, he would drag me out to these farm shows, and I'd be like, "What are we gonna do here?" And it was really interesting. It was fun to get such a different perspective and realize, it's a lot bigger than just, sand dunes and whoops and all that good stuff. So it's been a lot of fun doing it. Oh no, it certainly did. That those guys don't mess around with their tractors. Those things are more technological than any trophy truck out there, and they drive themselves. You want to know where the real autonomous vehicles are. They're out there in the farms, and it's quite educational going out there and spending time with them. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, when you own a business every day, you're on out there putting your neck on the line. Because I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, someone, I mean, we got close to fit. We have close to 50 employees, and one big accident can put you down. I mean, so every day you're out there kind of risking it. But when we did the original move, I mean, it was when we had gotten the building in Texas and we were still in California. There was a lot of preparation before we even brought our first truck, the first semi truck to that building. I mean, I was flying out there every week, every other week, and trying to. And here's the other thing: is still being able to ship orders and fulfill customer requests while you're in the middle of a move, not only moving your business but your family and your house and so that you're trying to balance, you're juggling a lot of things. So I mean, honestly, I think it went, I mean, really well. And
Surprisingly.
yeah, like it actually worked out good. But I mean, for like our equipment and stuff, it's all like really specialty stuff, and it's got to have all this it's all fancy, blah 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 blah, and like one little thing goes wrong and it sets you back for X amount of days, and you can't operate. So it was definitely you're stressing out about it, but that's the one thing like I think is really important is when there's a stressful time or situation to not just break down and stop. You just got to kind of power through it and come up with it. Like they say, be part of the solution and not part of the problem, and just get it done. It's got to get done one way or the other. So we just kind of came in there with that let's get it done attitude, and long nights and early mornings, and we made it happen. And I mean, now our facility is fully operational and manufacturing a lot of items, and everyone's happy and doing really well, not just at the shop, but they all got their, because we brought several people from California out to Texas. So
Yeah.
it wasn't just like me and Chris. I mean, we had several, between all the families and stuff. I mean, there's probably 20 people that came out there, so you got to have all their stuff you got to keep in mind too. Yeah. 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 I mean, personally, everyone I talk to around here, no one's from here. Like, yeah, like most of the people aren't from here. But I mean, as far as all like the off road community and stuff, they were really excited because there's no off road shops and no companies in Texas. So now all the Toyota guys I mean, we got guys that come down from Oklahoma City. There was a guy in our shop today from North Carolina. I mean, we got people coming from all over the place to come visit and be like, man, I never, because all these companies are West Coast based or, Arizona and stuff like that. So it's kind of a treat for these guys to come see these products and get to talk with people that are into the same thing they are, where everyone else is just like not into that. So it's kind of cool. We were so far into it. Yeah, we were too far into it. We had talked about it, about changing the name, but once you're so far into it, you kind of can't. You're kind of stuck with it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we were to go back, 10 years, would I've changed the name to something else? Probably, but we're here, we're now, we're doing great. So I don't think the name really matters too much. It's the product and the service and what the customer gets. That's the most important. So yeah, almost 2 years. Still be 2 years in May. Sure. Sure. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of that goes into Chris's hands. Chris is in charge of all the new products and developing all those and coming out with them, and so he handles like the physical side of that. Um, the like, hey, let's make a skid plate. Okay, I'm going to go make a skid plate, or I'm going to go design a skid plate. So he handles that part. But I mean, just talking and seeing what the industry wants and kind of the styles, and I mean, stuff changes on a daily basis on what's cool and what's not cool, and so just watching those trends. And we have some really good marketing people at work for us that kind of help take these crazy ideas and make it make sense. So I think that was kind of just the big thing is, like I say, you just got to have good people that can do all that for you. Sure. Yeah, so
Well,
we've actually 3D scanned one. Um,
yeah.
my brother has one. No, it's a really nice truck. I mean, I I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but I think it's way nicer than a Tacoma. Uh, he's got so like my brother has a Lariat like with every option, and he's got an Icon kit on it with like 35. I mean, it's a nice truck, and I mean it drives so nice with that EcoBoost, and I mean it's a main truck. So we scanned it. We are gonna make like our full lineup, like the sliders, the roof rack, the ditch brackets, the bumper light bar, the grill light bar. We actually already have a Raptor grill for it. We just haven't released it yet to make it look like the new Raptor. Uh, so I mean, we do. It's not, and that's the thing. Like people call us like a Toyota company, but be ready because we have a lot of stuff coming down the pipe that's gonna get us out of. I mean, I don't drive a Toyota. I mean, we all drive other vehicles, so we're not just Toyota guys.
Well, I am.
Yeah, Chris has a Toyota. They're cool. They're really cool.
I can relate to you guys. Blake is always going on to me. Hey, Chris, when are we gonna do those Ford Ranger products? So I hear it too. Hmm. Yes, sir. We use SolidWorks. Hmm. Yeah.
There you go.
We got you.
Yeah. Yeah, so we scanned a Ranger. We scanned what else did we scan recently? We scanned a Rav4. There's a bunch. That's a crazy group of people right there. The Rav4. It is. It really is. So we got that one in the pipe. We got. I mean, we have a Raptor, a new Raptor. So we have all these vehicles scanned and ready to go. So once you get them scanned and in our computers, we can start just popping products out like crazy.
Yeah, those.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, but definitely the Fords and the Chevys, and then the Jeep, the Gladiator, and then that Rav4, and that's kind of, and then we're gonna probably take another crack at the Chevy Colorado and come out with some more products for those too, because that stuff's been pretty busy lately. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't looked at it. I haven't. Do they have like a newer Frontier? Are they still making the Frontier? Like, have they made one since 2015? Okay, I don't. Okay, yeah. Well, that makes it easy for making products because you can make one that fits, 20 years worth of stuff. Yeah, I like. I like the new Titans are pretty cool. There's some nice ones of those too. I've seen some out in Texas at least. Everyone likes the big diesels, so I've seen quite a few of those around, and they're pretty nice. But yeah, I don't. We get asked about the Nissan stuff, but we're just not very knowledgeable in like the years and what they are. Yeah, that might be it. Might just be you emailing us every day about it. No, is it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. So I actually just got
Oh yeah.
the new Broncos are really cool. I actually got a call from a friend today who pre-ordered one that decided to not take it, so he's asking me if I want it. So um, might be getting one of those, or because he had his name in the list or whatever, and you can like pass it to someone. I don't know, but yeah, those are cool. I've seen several of them actually out here, like on dealership lots in the front of the dealerships, and they're pretty cool. I have yet to see like the off-road version one. I've seen the one that looks like a Range Rover Land Cruiser, and yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I couldn't see like off-road. Like I just don't see that thing like getting stuff put on it. But I really want to see the off-road ones because those look pretty cool. Okay, yeah, they need a new factory. Yeah, no, I think, and that's a crazy like talking about like the market. Like when you look at that vehicle and look at all the OEM, like I don't know if you when Cody when you got your Ranger, if you looked at like the brochure at the dealership, like how overland like catered that was. It was pretty crazy. Okay. Okay. The brochure for that was totally like copying Toyota. I mean, it was like literally the front picture is that thing parked on a mountain with a rooftop tent on the back on the, so and it's like a lot of these vehicle companies are like with the Bronco, I mean, there's, a ton of parts you can buy through Ford to basically build your Bronco. I mean, you could put like methods on it from the fact. I mean, it's crazy. It's cool to see that these big automakers are kind of stepping up and they want to get their kind of piece of the pie in the off-road game, by offering all these products already on the vehicle, because a lot of dealerships will take them and build them and do that. So Ford's like, we need to be doing that. So it's kind of neat to see that. No, 100%. No, 100%. It's very obvious what they're trying to do, and I mean the market's there, and the overland, adventure community is huge, and it's definitely something a lot of bigger, mass market companies are trying to get their hands into that niche. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of all that. I mean, it. I like to, looking at stuff like that and playing it on first you got to see what they do. And the hardest part is when a new vehicle comes out, like, and you just get pictures, like you can say, oh yeah, you could put a light bar there, but then there's like a wiring harness in the way, like you gotta get the thing in your hands to really, tell what you can even do. Because there's some vehicles, it's like, man, we need to put a bumper light bar kit on this thing, but it's just there's no possible, way to do it with our style where it's all hidden and nice, and or oh, we want to put a LED pod on the hood, but you can't do it without drilling a hole, and we don't want to do, so we kind of have our staple products that we like to try to be able to get on every vehicle. And that's kind of whenever a new vehicle comes out, that's kind of the first thing we try and design is the replacement for your fog lights, a light bar in your grill or your bumper, LED pods up on your hood, and then like maybe a roof rack or something. And then we look inside and see what we can do on the interior of the vehicle. So we kind of have like a checklist we go through. Even if a customer pulls into our parking lot and is going to be there for 5 minutes that has a new truck, we're like, hey, can we look inside this thing and go through our checklist and see if we can make a MOLLE panel for it or make this or that? And we just kind of go through and say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Okay, now we need to know what we can actually do for this. So that's kind of like what we follow. I mean, because a skid plate's a skid plate, a ditch bracket's a ditch bracket. I mean, you can only get so creative with those kind of staple products that it's just more of getting those Cali-Rays staple products on all these different vehicle platforms, and then they will sell. So that's more of yeah.
Hey,
There you go. That's Chris.
yeah, that's a lengthy process. The original R&D only takes about 2 weeks. you know, we 3D scan everything. We do it all in house. We used to hire a company to do it, but once we learned how powerful of a tool it was, we just went ahead and made the investment. So we 3D scan everything. With my busy schedule, because I keep the shop running too. Like I said, about 2 weeks to get a prototype made, but the real time is in the testing. Especially once the cat gets out of the bag and the customers learn about your product, your new product, they're hollering at you every day. When's it coming out? When's it coming out? Um, but we really try to spend as much time as we can with them and all the different makes or the different model versions and trim packages and all that. And yeah, it's tough. We try to roll things out quickly, but we don't want to roll them out and get our butts kicked. Um, so we try really hard to vet them as much as we can. And you don't win them all. You know, we did some Molly panels for Forerunners and overlooked a third row option that I guess only a few people have. And luckily, we made a new panel and got it figured out relatively quickly. But that's the tough part about launching new products is you never know where those curveballs are going to get, and you can test 20 trucks, but until you get a few hundred of them out there, you can never conquer every variable that's out there. It's a tough deal. R&D is hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, we appreciate them. You know, we know they're just excited. And I know how excited I get when I order parts for my new rig and want to get stuff on there or I got a weekend ahead of me. So we don't get discouraged by that. We encourage it actually. We like to hear our customers' feedback and you know, even some of the products we made back in 2017 when we first started, we're still making slight revisions to make things better, make it fit a little nicer, make a bolt go in a little easier. That's just part of making good stuff is constantly listening to your customers um, and rolling it out as fast as you can. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's times where we'll get an install at our shop, and I'll go put the whatever product they bought of ours on, and I'm like, Chris, we need to make this hole bigger. This was too hard to put on, like stuff like that. Or I didn't like how this bracket fit. Like it worked, it looked perfectly fine. I just didn't like how it fit. We need to change it. So we're always tweaking on stuff and trying to make it better and adapting if when a new vehicle comes out is, oh, the truck's the exact same, but this plastic's a little thicker. We need to just, make the slotted hole a little bit bigger so they can fit it on. But, just little stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why we like doing installations. We keep a close eye on our products, make sure they're fitting really good, get those little notes. We love doing installations. Um, it, we try to do them at our shop as often as we can.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you can have your fact checkers check me on this, but I was told that from Los Angeles to Dallas, when you get to the state line of Texas, you're halfway there. Yeah, it's a hike.
Bring the
Yeah,
Nissan by. We'll try it out. In worst case, what did I hear? Zip ties and screws and tape. So we'll get you either way.
yeah, we'll get something on
We'll make it work.
Hey, if it's a redneck mentality. Doesn't matter how it looks as long as it works. Yeah. Exactly. Get more, more products, bumpers, skids, more stuff like that, bigger ticket items, and then moving into all those other vehicle platforms, and then just growing, all of our dealer networks, and we're setting up some big things with some, really large, companies, to just partner with them and just take everything more to a, mass market sort of deal, where versus just the really niche, just your community. We're getting in all the other communities. So that's kind of what we're really focusing on right now. And a big thing too that we're really working on is just optimizing everything that we're doing currently. I mean, coming to Texas from that small little shop in Buena Park with 8 people to our big facility here with 50 people, there's a lot of stuff to figure out. As I mean, we have a full blown like manufacturing facility, tons of equipment, people. I mean, it's crazy. We have some videos on our YouTube and stuff where you can watch them and just see like a drone tour of our manufacturing and all that. And it's what I like to say is we went from playing Pop Warner Pee Wee football to now we're in the big leagues, playing with the big boys now. Where we got to really step up our game and be efficient, because that's the name of the game, is just being efficient and making good products at a good price that you don't have to warranty, that are going to be good. And anyone can make a good product, but you got to still be able to sell the product, and you still got to be able to ship it and get it to the person's house in one piece. So there's a lot of moving parts we're just really optimizing right now. There you go.
Oh man. Well, I got one more exciting thing I want to share. I'm gonna let the cat out the bag a little early, so sorry to my customer service team, but we're working really hard at having rock sliders in stock, and we're hoping that by February you can order and get your rock slider shipped on the same day. So, yeah. These are going to be our Tacoma, Tundra, and Forerunner platforms in all options, all coatings, raw, bedliner, powder, all that stuff. Um, our biggest hurdle has honestly been freight. We can only fit so many semis in our small parking lot every day to load up, and trying to figure out how to get them all shipped out in the same day. So we're working through some logistic stuff, but we can't wait to launch that. I'm sure it's kind of an old story, but the whole what happened to Pelfrey thing, and we don't like that, and we hate that people have to put their money out and hope that they get something. And we just like disrupting things a little bit and doing things our own way, and this is our way of doing it our own way, is carrying them in stock. And yeah. Well, that's why we're just gonna get them right to you, and then you don't
Yeah.
have to do that.
Yeah.
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 We're like Blake said, we're kind of a little bit of a send it company. So we have 24 different variables of sliders, not even talking about coatings, but we're going to keep them all in stock and we're going to go for it. And when we bring the Ford Ranger stuff in there, we're going to go for it. And we're just really focused on taking care of the customers and trying to change the industry in the way that we know how. And this is our attempt. And we think it's going to be fantastic. We're hoping. We're hoping UPS is making it hard for us. It's
gonna come down to UPS. That's what it's gonna come down to.
Yeah. Hey, and you know, to toot a little Cali raised horn, I mean, we were the first ones to come out with flat rate freight on sliders.
Yep.
I mean, that was a pretty fun thing to do. When you check out, you know what you're getting. And now we just need the lead time to match that. So we really like that. Social media, we'll be posting.
Yeah, I mean, if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook and just, like one of our posts, our marketing team just like basically has you then. So then you're just going to see, you're going to see ads for the rest of your life. So then you'll know.
Now, join our mail list.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Student loan debt.
It went the other way. Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, they go on the website. You can join our email list. You guys get a little, what is it, 5% discount, I believe, for your first purchase. And we roll out our newsletters every month. So if you really want to stay up to date on new products, in stock sliders, all that fun stuff, the mailing list is where it's at.
And our newsletter is pretty cool. Like, so we don't like spam you with emails. We send 1 to 2 a month. I know we do a newsletter every month, and I believe it's sent out on the first Thursday of the month. And it's cool because what we do is we'll take a customer and we'll feature like a cool story, like this guy rolled his truck 30 times and his rock sliders survived and he lit, some crazy, like with all the pictures or videos or this guy is in Japan and he's got like the baddest Tacoma in Japan and it's got all our stuff. We share all these like cool stories. And then what we do is we'll share a featured trail of the month. And we actually work with some GPS companies for like the coordinates, and you can like get the and it's pretty cool. It's not just like a, hey, here's a sale, buy this. Like it's a very like, I actually read it. It's pretty informative. like it's informative. Yeah, no, it's informative. Correct. Correct. Yeah, and it's an informative, like it's a newsletter, and we just kind of tell you what's going on and share some cool stories and share, if there is a new product, we'll share a little picture of it and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. If I would definitely recommend subscribing. We're not going to send you an email like 17 times a day trying to tell you that today is the last day to save or whatever. So yeah, we don't do that. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. We actually have a new website launching on Wednesday, so it's going to be. Yeah, they've been working on it for months, and it's getting ready. There, I talked to Susie, who's the one that was working the details with you guys, and they're launching it on Wednesday, and it's really cool. I don't know if you've ever been on like a vehicle, like on like Ford's website, if you were looking at Rangers or whatever, but they have where you can like build your truck, and like your truck, like it'll like show the wheels and stuff like that. We're doing that with like sliders, where you're literally able to see like the option, like you select powder coat and it shows the powder coat, and it's like really like you can like really go on there and like play with it. And it's a full custom coded deal they did. It's not just like a template that like most sites. So it's cool, and there's just a ton of information on the website, and videos and tutorials, and they spent, I don't even know how much time putting all this stuff together over the past 6-7 months, but it's cool. We developed some custom apps and stuff for the products, and it's really neat. So they're getting ready to launch that. So when this podcast comes out on Thursday, head over to the website, see the new website. Yeah. You guys got some cool matching flags on the back, so that's cool. Okay. There you go. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. Always trying to improve and just keep an eye on us. That's all I got to say. So
thank you so much.
yeah. Yes, sir. And those Nissan Frontiers. Can't forget about them.
Come on by.
There you go.
Yeah, we'd love to come back. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. Sure. Yeah, just send that stuff over to Susie. She kind of is in charge of what goes on our social media, so she'll make sure, and I'll talk to her tomorrow and let her know. But she'll just post to kind of share some love to you guys and tell them to go watch the pod. Yeah. Thanks, fellas.
That's good. Thank
Have a
you.
good one. Bye.